Okay, then we're back to, well, wait a minute. And so the challenge with a contextualized risk-based approach to governance, or a non-invasive approach to governance, that's a great term. And that's becoming very popular in the data community lately. But the challenge with that is it requires competence in the part of leadership. And then this is where, and I'm a fairly blunt and harsh guy, and I will make Mark's much nicer than I am, but I will basically, I realize this hard because you need to be competent. So where's the real problem here? And it's the lack of confidence in the governance people that is the real problem here, because they desperately try to fit everybody into one way of being governed, and like the way that you would govern a predictive project is very different than the way that you would govern a continuous delivery product team, right? So the governance people need to be flexible enough to say, oh, that's this kind of team, I will govern it in this way. Oh, that's this type of team, I need to govern it in this sort of way. But still address the same collection of common risks that organization is interested in. So this is where then now, because the governance people, or like any sort of organizational support organization, like an enterprise architecture team or a PMO or a data management team, they need to be able, because they're working with different types of teams, they need to be flexible enough to work in different types of ways. Otherwise, they are the problem. And inflicting one way of working on all those teams, all that does is add risk and cost and time into those teams, regardless of whatever your spin is, right? Like, and the governance people aren't evil. They're good people, intelligent people trying to.
They're also products of their context or their function, and it creates a paradigm of how they look at things. Yeah. And they see conformity. They have the classical economic training of economics of scale, and economics of scale is created through uniformity, which is a principle of military efficiency. But we all know that if you have difficult things to do, you don't send out the whole brigade. You send out a special forces team, which is, by the way, I've done 2 podcasts, one with my former lieutenant colonel from the U.S. Army, and one with a captain from the Navy SEALs. And I kind of tried to engage them on this subject matter, that if we're talking about a matrix organization, the line organization is kind of like the big army. It's got rules and discipline and chain of command and shut up and wait. And, it's all about authority. And then you have, for special cases, you have special forces that are allowed to do this to the process, and they might have to salute, but they can be unshaven. They can take the general's car if they need it,
But they're also, so one of the challenges with the Navy SEALs paradigm is that they're the best of the best of the best of the best, right? They get to train, they get the best equipment, the best training. Yeah. They're the cream of the crop.
Which is a weak analogy for project teams.
Yeah. And they get deployed every so often to do something really nasty. And, whatever it is that they're doing is really important and high risk. And
it's carte blanche. They have carte blanche. They can do what they want. Yeah.
Yeah. And they have a huge support organization behind them, right? It's not like we like to talk about, the Navy SEAL Team 5 that, bumped off what was that guy? Doesn't matter. And the 9/11 terrorist guy. But the reality is that, they came off an aircraft carrier with a couple thousand people on it that, the aircraft carrier.
A lot of people are forgetting what the infrastructure has to be for that team to be the heroes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But, they get all the credit. But meanwhile, there's like thousands of people involved in helping them do that, minute and a half job. But how do you make the aircraft carrier work is a more interesting question. How do you make an army of,
from a systems perspective?